Okay, so when multiplying square roots, right, we're going to multiply the numbers outside the square root. So 5 times 5 becomes 25. And we're going to multiply the numbers inside. And so that becomes 25 square root of 80. But I can simplify 80. Now, there's actually an easier way than just trying to simplify 80. Instead, I can do prime factorization of 8 is just 2 times 2 times 2. And prime factorization of 10 is just 5 times 2. So what I get is I get 25 square root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5, like that. And it's a lot easier to find the prime factors of smaller numbers than large numbers. And when we multiply them together, that's what we get. And so then this 2 becomes 2. These two, that pair of 2s, I should say, becomes 2. This pair of 2s becomes 2. And then we're just left with the square root of 5 times, and the 25 times. And so I get 25 times 2 is 50, times 2 is 100, and I get 100 square root 5 is my answer for the first one. Now for the second one, we're going to distribute this. And so this becomes 3 square root 6 times 5 plus 3 square root 6 times square root 3. Now on the left here, once again, we're going to multiply our numbers in front, the coefficients, and that becomes 15. And then we'll multiply the radicals. Now there is an invisible like square root of 1 radical if you want to add that in. No, not necessary. And that just is square root 6. Plus, same thing here. We would multiply the numbers outside, our radicals, 3, and there's like an invisible 1. And so that becomes 3. And then inside the radicals, we get 6 and 3, and that becomes square root of 18. Now, we can actually simplify 18, though. And so for the sake of this becomes 15 square root 6 plus 3 times the square root of 9 times 2. And that becomes 15 square root 6 plus 3 times 3. Square root of 9 becomes 3 square root 2. And 15 square root 6 plus 9 square root 2. And I cannot combine this anymore, so that's my answer. Now, when it comes to dividing, remember, we want to make it so that there's no radical in the bottom. So the first thing I always want to do is simplify the fraction of the radicals on top. So in this case, 6 over 27. If I were to simplify that, I could divide both by 3, and that becomes 2 over 9. Well, with square roots, it's the same thing, right? Square root of 6 over square root of 27 is the same thing as square root of 2 over square root of 9. And so this becomes square root of 2 over 2 square root 9. Well, look at here. Square root of 9 is just the same thing as 3. So square root of 2 over 2 times 3. And that's the square root of 2 over 6. And that is my answer. Now with 30, once again, I want to simplify these. And so this becomes, and I can divide both by 4. So that's 2 square root 2 over 3 square root 3. Now in this case, I don't have a perfect square in the bottom. So I take whatever my square root is in the bottom, and I'm going to multiply it by the giant 1 of root 3 over root 3. And I get the root 3 from this denominator, this bottom root 3 right here. All right. Now when I do this on top, this just becomes 2 square root 6. Once again, square root of 2 times square root of 3 is square root of 6. In the bottom, I get root 3 times root 3 is 3, so that becomes 3 times 3. This 3 comes here. Root 3 times root 3 together comes here, like that. And so what I end up with is 2 square root 6 over 9. And that is as simple as I can make it. And so that is my final answer.